Hello and welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday with Charlie the Traveler and Lainey Melnick Live. We're going to talk about Belize today.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I love Belize. It's a beautiful area, jungles, beaches, great diving. So just a little introduction in case you haven't been on our show before. And one of my fabulous supplier partners is Charlie the Traveler, who is a global travel expert, writes books about areas, has these fabulous tours that he has devised in 30 countries around the world. And we are talking destinations every week, or as many weeks as we're both in town together. And so this is our 9th episode. And today we are talking Belize.
I'm excited. It's it's somewhere close to home and it feels different enough. So it is a very popular one. Um,
Yeah. And it's not an island. People get a little confused. Belize is in Central America, and it has some little islands, but it is not an island.
it isn't. And you know what? When I first started this many years ago, we had put out several tours. I would have known that Belize would have then been my bestseller, but it was
Wow.
above other countries that I thought were going to perform much better. Belize was number one.
That's very interesting. I don't sell a whole lot of land to Belize. I sell a lot of cruises that go to Belize. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and this is before. There's guys that I work with right now who I really like a lot. This was even before the people I've worked with and trained and everything else. So this was way back when. But yeah, it was my top seller back in the day.
Well, why don't we get started about like when is a good time to go to Belize? There is a dry season.
November through April.
You don't want to be there in the summer.
No, there are people that go though. They're just quieter months, but I mean, it will rain a little bit here and there, but it's not common for it just to be drenching the whole day, to ruin your whole day. But yeah, November through April are the prime times. December, however, is a very expensive month to be there because that's when people have off for the holidays, and the cost of the hotels go right through the roof.
Yeah, that's true. And there are so many options in Belize for where to stay. And for safety reasons, I really recommend that you stay in an actual hotel or resort or someone that's affiliated with the tour company so that you know if you're in a remote area in Belize, it can be not so safe in certain areas. But in the touristy areas, it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's the touristy areas are San Pedro, Ambergris Key. It's one of the islands off the coast there. Belize City is neither the capital nor the most popular part of the country, but people seem to know it just because that's where you fly into and out of. I really don't recommend spending much time there,
Yeah.
other than to do this one day trip to this famous archaeological site called Lamanai. And the other big destinations over there are San Ignacio, which is near the border of Guatemala, and Placencia. Those are the big names. And then from there, you can kind of do your excursions and all that stuff. But yeah, those are the spots.
Yeah, I agree. I think Belize City, I would steer away from. It's one of the areas that I think has a little more crime and a little more safety issues. So yeah, I agree with you.
Typically, what we have people do is they arrive in Belize City. And if they arrive by a certain time, we will pick them up. We got the sign with their name on it, take them to the port, the dock, I'm sorry. And from there, we will get them transferred to San Pedro, the capital of Ambergris Key Island. So they go straight there. The last boat leaves at like 5 o'clock. So obviously we need to get them there in time. If they can't get there in time, then what they simply do is take their luggage, check into a domestic flight. It's only 15 minutes to the San Pedro airport. And then we end up just picking them up that way. But when you first get to Belize, if you could avoid staying in Belize City that night, it's preferable.
So I thought we could use water taxis. Are you saying the water taxis stop running at 5 o'clock?
Well, no, it's
Or
an
the
hour and
ferry?
a half boat ride
Oh,
that goes from the mainland to San Pedro.
I
So
see. Okay.
yeah. So it's a public transportation boat transfer. So, and some people just want to take the flight. You don't really save a lot of time because you still need to be there, an hour and a half before the departure. So, and the boat ride takes an hour and a half. So it just kind of depends what time you arrive. And then we choose whether to get you there by boat or by flight. But either way, by that evening, being San Pedro will be a good way to start off your trip to Belize. It'll be a good first impression.
And it's Central America. It borders Mexico on one side. So it's not super far for us Texans, who are up here. I think it's a great destination that's fairly close by. I'm trying to think of how long the air
And a
flight
direct
is.
flight too, and a direct flight.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know what language they speak over there. Most people speak both Spanish and English. They speak
Oh,
both
right.
languages fluently. Um, the African descent is more in Belize City. The rest of the country, it's more like mestizo, like more of a mix of like Spanish and Native American and that kind of the Maya people, basically.
Yeah,
But
the English is actually the official language, believe it or not.
almost everybody's going to speak both over there. Almost everybody I met over there speak both.
So I think I was a little short in it. It's not 3 hours. It's more like a 4 to 5 hour flight from Austin, but from Houston it's probably better because those are one stops. But I bet from Houston, let's see, from Houston it's nonstop on Southwest even. So and it's only 2 hours and 20 minutes. So that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, not a. It's pretty convenient. I think that's one of the reasons why they choose Belize. It's got the clear water and the white sand and some fun adventure, and you're not flying that far away. The number one attraction in Belize is the Blue Hole.
Yes, I
Mhm.
love that.
Now, here's the thing. When you do those boat cruises, you say, okay, I'm going to cruise right up to the Blue Hole. I'll see it. This will be so cool. And the problem people have, they're like, well, you don't really see anything. Because you're inside of it. You need to have like a bird's eye view from above, from a flight scene tour to actually see what this
Ah,
Blue Hole looks like. Um, so yeah, that's why if you're going to go to the Blue Hole with the boat, I think the main reason to do that is for scuba diving.
hmm.
But if you're not interested specifically in scuba diving, the flight scene tour over the Blue Hole is the best way to do it. It's so much fun. It's beautiful. And then you also see this rustic ship that's just been there for several years.
Mm.
That looks really cool. And you're going to see the reef over there as well. So there's no better way to see it than from above.
And what Natalie is asking about the wildlife, yes, there's some great wildlife like jaguars. There's great sanctuaries. Charlie's going to take us through his tour day by day, so we can hear what he does. So that the first day we're in San Pedro, the first night,
Mhm.
and then do we go to the Blue Hole the next day from there?
That is the best way to do it. So the day that
Okay.
you get in, you get to Belize City, then quick flight or boat ride to San Pedro. That evening, just kind of we give you an orientation of what the village looks like over there, and you're shown around on a golf cart. They're
Mm.
not really cars over there; it's all golf cart there. And the following day is when we recommend doing that flight scene tour over the Blue Hole.
Mm.
Um, you always want to do that as soon as possible. It's the same reason why if you're going to go on like a hot air balloon ride or something, you want to do it or schedule it immediately because if there's ever a cancellation, you want to have like a backup, for the fall
Right.
or something. So you never want to leave like that at the end. Um, but yeah, you do that flight scene tour. It's a lot of fun. It's about an hour long. And then when you're done with that, we pick you up from the airport and we take you to this place called the Secret Beach. The thing about the Secret Beach, the tables for the bar tables and all that, they're inside the water. And
Yes.
the servers are all drenched and they're bringing you the drinks and they're going like neck high, bringing you the drinks over there. Yeah, it's got a nice beach. Just the whole scenery there is nice. The music's there. So it's a good way to
Mm.
spend like the rest of your day. Day three now is when I recommend, and I mean, what we typically do with our company, we make a day trip to Key Calker.
Oh, okay.
That is the other famous island.
Hmm.
I don't recommend you stay on both islands. I recommend you stay on one of the two and just make
Mm.
a day trip to the other one. Key Calker is closer to Belize, and technically you could relocate there, but it's only a 30-minute boat ride for me to check
Mm.
out of your hotel and go to the island and then check in and then check out again. For me, it's not worth it. So just make the 30-minute excursion. So what
Yeah.
you do on the third day from San Pedro, we go by boat to the Hol Chan Reserve. And this
Mm.
is where you're going to see the coolest animals in Belize. They're just the biggest. you're going
Mm,
to see over there. I'm not going to say that the coral itself is as impressive. The best coral for me is near Placencia. I'll talk about that in a second.
mm,
But Holchan is where you're just going to see the coolest animals. And that's like a half-day excursion. It goes back to San Pedro. And then after you've done that, you take the 30-minute boat ride to Key Cocker. We pick you up in a golf cart again,
mm-hmm.
same style like San Pedro and British Key. And then you're taken to see some cool animals. And they've got this beach that kind of splits, you know. Um, and yeah, it's got a cool little vibe to it. You feed these tarpons, and that
Mm,
thing that I'm talking about, it's called the split. That's what it is, and it kind of looks like what it's described.
right.
And at the end of that day, that third day, you're taken back by boat to San Pedro. On day 4, we take the boat from San Pedro, Ambergris Key, back to Belize City, where you started.
Mm,
And from there, we pick you up and we'll take you to La Manay. It's one of the 3 most famous archaeological sites
mm,
built by the Maya people. There's a couple of ways of doing it. There's this boat ride to get there, and otherwise there's the drive. The boat ride, there's some cool things about it, but it's kind of slow and all this kind of stuff. Generally, we have people do it as a boat ride. I'm sorry, as a land tour. Just take
mm,
them in a private car over there. And then after we've shown them that, we take them to their hotel. This one is a little bit tricky. There is a 3-star, technically a 3-star
mm,
hotel called the Black Orchid Resort. And they have 4-star and 5-star hotels in Belize City.
mm,
I've seen their quote unquote, 4-star and 5-star properties. This Black Orchid Resort is better than these other ones.
mm,
Um, and plus, you don't really want to be hanging out in the city anyways.
right.
So I don't really know why this one gets rated as 3-star. It's literally
Mm,
the only 3-star hotel we use in Belize, and it's one of the only we use anywhere on the planet, a 3-star
mm.
hotel. Um, but yeah, it's definitely, in my opinion, the best hotel in the area.
Really like to stick to 4-star and up hotels for many reasons, but there are some 3-star hotels around the world that are decent and good enough, or even better than what some of the 4-star offerings are. So, like obviously Black Orchid, you said, right?
Black
Not blue,
Orchid, yeah,
is one
Black.
of those.
It's better than their 4 and 5-star. And again,
Mm,
I don't really know how it got rated like that, but um, the other one, there's the Radisson. It's very outdated.
mm,
It's just very old and that kind of thing. So um, yeah, I mean, maybe one
yeah.
day they'll clean it up and then they'll be the Black Orchid. But right now, the Black Orchid takes the cake.
So this is why you need us. You need a travel advisor who really knows the area. You need your tour provider to be on the ground there and know everything about what you're doing. If you just look online and look at your reviews and think, oh, I could just book this myself, you could be very disappointed in what you end up with. So experience matters.
Yeah, and there's another problem with the hotels. Um, Belize are for the price, they are some of the most expensive hotels I've seen
Mm,
anywhere on this planet. Part of the reason is because there isn't a lot of competition over there.
right.
So on Ambergris Key, that we've now left to come back to the mainland, there's 2 good hotels there, Victoria House and Mahogany Bay.
Hmm.
They both know that those are the 2 hotels. After that, it's just a lot of rental properties. And you can run into some problems with that. One is if you need anybody, there's nobody there to take care of you.
Hmm.
Um, it's just kind of like an Airbnb type of thing.
Hmm.
Um, but nothing comes close to Victoria House and Mahogany Bay. So sometimes the hotel will be like $280 a night, and it can literally just shot up to $600. I've seen it so many times.
Mm,
Where it'll go from. So when that kind of thing happens, we have to kind of rearrange the itinerary to have it coincide with when the prices are normal again, because nobody wants to pay $600 for a night for a hotel.
Right.
Well, except for your customers, they seem
I was
like
going
they're,
to say, my customers don't mind it at all.
yeah, no, mine are a little bit pickier. Mine are pickier. Um,
And one word too about these islands, and you had mentioned that they use golf carts on the islands to get people around. So I sometimes use a wheelchair. I know I have clients that use wheelchairs and scooters. Belize is a developing country. This is not someplace that is great with ramps and great with elevators. You're going to have some issues getting in and out of boats, getting in and out of the golf cart. Maybe they'll be able to put your wheelchair on there, but it's not the kind of location that is easy for accessibility. So you do need to plan ahead if you have those kinds of needs.
Very true. And if you have a disability, then definitely the next day five is going to be a bit of a challenge because on this day we leave Belize City, and the first stop we make is to Belize Zoo. Generally
Oh,
speaking, I'm not a big zoo guy.
I love zoos.
You like them, yeah. I feel like I lived them my whole life, but
And that's a good zoo. That's flat, easy to maneuver. That zoo.
yeah, that particular zoo I liked because it's not like a cheesy type of zoo. It's a very natural, feels very like authentic type of setting, you know. So
Yeah.
you feel it's more like sightseeing, like in a forest type of thing, than just being like in a a zoo.
Right.
And there's almost 200 animals inside there and like 48 species and all that, and they're all native to the country. So after that though is when we take you to a place to Nochen Caves.
Mm.
There you go tubing.
Mm.
So if you got a hard time getting up and down,
Yeah, that's a hard one.
once your tush is inside that tube, so,
Yeah.
um, but it is a lot of fun. The tubing over there, it's scenic and just you'll see everybody. They're in a good mood. That part is a lot of fun. And then before getting to your final destination, Placencia, we
Mm.
pass by these villages. It's got a little bit more of like a Rastafarian type of vibe to it. And then you finally get into Placencia, which is where you have the best coral in the country, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's this reef in Belize is beautiful. It is the second largest reef in the world.
Placencia is also difficult in terms of finding good quality hotels. So yeah, that night on night 5, you've arrived in Placencia. The 6th day is when you take the boat out and you go snorkeling.
Mm.
So if you want to scuba dive, that's the Blue Hole. If you
Right.
want to see big animals, that's the Hol Chan earlier. Now, if you want to see like prettier coral and all that kind of stuff, that's Placencia.
Mm.
So that's what you do on day 6. That is the only day that things end earlier. That day ends like around 3:30, and we've
Mm.
kept you pretty busy for the last 5 days. So at that point, people are just like, you know what? There's white sand here, and some nice Rasta music and everything else. So we kind of want to just like spend the rest of the day to enjoy it. So it's a welcoming relief for people just to say, hey, let me just enjoy the beach right now. So
Downtime is actually really sought after with Charlie's tours because he does pack it in. He makes sure that you see as much as you can in every day, get the bang for your buck. So we're on day 6 or 7, did you say, at this point?
that's the end of day 6.
And how many days is this tour?
This is 10 days. However,
10.
sometimes people want more days relaxation. So if they have just one more day, we recommend they do it in Placencia. If they have 2 more days, then we add 1 day in Placencia, 1 day in San Pedro. We don't charge more other than for the lodging. That's it. So if you want to quote unquote pause the tour so you can do this, we do it.
Okay, yeah, that's a great way to add in some relaxation time if you want some spa days, some beach days, just to kind of rest between the touring activities. So now, not all meals are included in Charlie's tours. So on this one, certain breakfast, lunch, and dinners are included, or is it all on your own?
Breakfast is provided at
Mm,
the hotels. There's one hotel that we're using right now in Placencia. The main one that we use has not yet reopened. So
mm,
on that one, we bring you the breakfast until our preferred hotel reopens. But there's all the breakfast and five lunches that we
mm.
provide on this tour. No dinners though. The dinners
Okay.
once you're taken back to the hotel, you shower up and then kind of just do your own thing for dinner.
Okay. And local food is delicious. You know, there's great food there.
Yep, there's lots of chicken, rice, and beans also. So
Lots of
um,
seafood too. They have seafood. And for Jewish travelers, so Belize is not has no Jewish infrastructure. So there's no synagogues, there's no kosher anything. So you have to really plan if you are concerned about that. Bring your own food with you, or just eat vegetarian while you're out if that's.
on the seventh day, you now leave Placencia and you're going to go into the mountains, close to
Mm,
the border with Guatemala. There's nice stops before getting to your destination, San Ignacio. The first one is called the Sleeping Giant Rainforest.
mm,
There's this nice mountain there, and there's this beautiful viewpoint. Then the next one is Barton Creek, and you go canoeing inside a cave, and you've got
mm,
the flashlight and all this kind of stuff over there. It's fun. It's relaxing and just kind of dark and that kind of thing, but it's
mm.
really cool. And then there's Sunachinich. I don't expect you to pronounce that or know how to spell it, but it's one of the other of three famous archaeological sites
Mm,
in Belize. That one is very, very close to Guatemala. You can actually see the other side from there.
mm.
Um, and that's what day 7 is. So you're going from one place to the next and making three important stops en route.
Okay, for people who I haven't explained this to before, the reason that Charlie's tours are very easy to sell for me and other travel agents is because you can leave at any day that you would like. There's no required day or time that you must leave by. And then he orchestrates it so that the days can be shared sometimes with other people on other trips, no matter when they started their trip. So you'll get the value of a group tour. You'll be able to have some group shore excursions, or excursions, I shouldn't say shore, and still be able to have it customized to you and your needs. So that's why I love booking Charlie and his tours. He knows what he's doing, and he really knows these areas very well and can help customize to make it perfect for you. So,
And other than COVID, we've never canceled on anybody.
yes.
Um, Prior to COVID, after COVID, and you can see our tours are very comprehensive. And you start when you want, and we also have your own on-call concierge. You have somebody who's there for you anytime you need something. You don't call some 800 number and wait 45 minutes to
Right.
get somebody who's just on a reading off a screen or something like that. That's all. Okay, now day 8 is the second most famous thing about Belize. The first one is that blue
Mm,
hole
mm-hmm,
on day 2. The other very famous one is called ATM Cave. ATM Cave.
mm-hmm.
There are no ATM machines inside this cave, for those who are wondering. And you cannot take photos inside there, unfortunately, because
Mm.
somebody did it and then they broke some of the archaeological remains inside.
Oh,
And then the government said, no more, nobody.
ah.
But this is by far the craziest cave I've ever been inside. And I've been inside so many caves. So the thing about this cave, the Maya people, which incidentally, do you know how they were called Maya?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so but they didn't call themselves Maya. Maya, I think it meant like what or huh. So the Spanish, when they went
Mm.
over there, they asked them, what do you guys call yourselves? They said Maya, Maya, which it's not.
Uh,
And then they end up calling them like
I don't know
the
that that's true. I need to look that up.
I looked it up. I
Did
did look
you?
it up. So the Maya people, they wanted to worship the gods. So what they did was they were like licking toads, because you can hallucinate from licking the toad.
Oh, right, right.
And then what they would do is go inside that ATM cave, the one that you go to on day 8, and then they just get all high. And yeah, don't be taking no ideas here, anybody. Um,
By licking toads.
and what they would do is they would light a fire inside there, and you know it by looking up
Uh,
at the roof of this cave because you can see it's burnt.
uh,
So they were like, basically they got a fire going on. They're all high and they're dancing around and all this kind of stuff. And then they would also bury people inside there. So you still see the skeletons
uh,
of these of people inside there. So you've got skeletons of dead people.
I,
You're all high off toads. You got fumes going off. You're crawling and you're getting wet.
mm,
This is a water cave.
uh,
So you're wearing water shoes and you're going through these areas and stuff like that. So it is very adventurous. And just the formations inside there are very pretty. It looks like a
mm,
museum. It, honest to God, looks just like somebody put together this museum, but
mm,
it's natural. So it's aesthetically beautiful. It's fun because you're going through all these like tight areas and everything, and then you see the
mm.
skeletons, and the history of getting all high and all that. So it's fun.
Crazy. And then what
Uh,
do you do after that?
on that day,
Yeah. I mean, you must be kind of worn out after that, I would think.
it's a full day. It's a full day thing. I mean, you're in there for the whole day, and then afterwards we take you back into your hotel.
Mm.
The best hotels are not in the city center. I would not recommend staying inside San Ignacio. The town itself for me is not particularly attractive, nor is Belize City.
Mm.
So for San Ignacio, it's better, in my opinion, to kind of stay on the outskirts. Um, we like a place called Falling Leaves Lodge. That's the one
Oh.
that we typically use over there. On the ninth day, you make a day trip from San Ignacio. We take you to this place called Rio Frio Cave,
Mm.
and then you see Caracol. This is the most famous pyramid or archaeological site in all of the country.
Right.
That's the best one. It's a little bit far to get out, but we show you over there. And then you also are taken to these falls. It's called the Big Rock Falls. And then you basically, you go swimming over there. So
Mm.
you see a cave, you go swimming at a waterfall, and then you otherwise see Caracol, the main archaeological site in the country. That's what happens on day 9.
Hi, everyone. Just in case you don't know who you're talking to. I am Lainey Melnick, the owner of Dream Vacations Travel Agency in the Westlake Hills area of Austin, Texas. And I am with Charlie the Traveler, who is one of my supplier partners, a tour provider who has tours in 30 countries across the world. The 30 countries he's chosen specifically for a reason, because these are countries that are difficult to navigate on your own. There are reasons why it's better for you to have some help with professionals like me and Charlie. And he has devised these amazing itineraries that really gives you the bang for the buck. And we can put you in whatever hotels you like, whatever type of hotels. If I have some clients who are pure suite people, they want suites, they can get suites. And you can leave on any day you like.
So on the 10th day, for those who need to go home, they go home. What some others do, though, is they will continue onto our Guatemala tour, because to go
Ah,
from San Ignacio, it's very easy to go to Flores in northern Guatemala, and from there, there's some cool
mm,
archaeological sites, and then you go further south. So it's common enough for our customers to fly into Belize City and fly out of Guatemala City. But if
hmm.
you don't have the time to do that, then we just take you from San Ignacio back to Belize City, straight to the airport. You fly out after you've done fun activities and eaten lots of rice and beans, and took some cool photos.
So, am I wrong that Guatemala is a very difficult country to use for tourism at this point?
For myself, I've got it down, but It was for customers who go on our tour, they're not going to feel the difference. But in my earlier years, Guatemala was one of the harder ones, very territorial.
Yeah.
And when you try to come in, they, there's not a lot of people there. So I had to find my own people, I had to train my own people. So
But
when you try to,
I thought crossing the border had a lot of issues
oh,
too.
no, that's easy. That's
Is
easy.
it? Okay. Maybe I'm thinking back during COVID or something that was difficult back then. Or maybe it was a different border that they had to a
Yeah.
different country. Okay.
Yeah. It's a different feel from Belize, of course, but, it's got its own allure like Belize does. One thing you definitely don't want to do in Belize is use public transportation. They just don't
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're there. You kind of mentioned that there's a
Hmm.
reason why from the 94 countries I've visited, I've handpicked 30 of them because there's a need, you know. In Belize, if you try to use public transportation, good luck.
Yeah. And it's, you really want to make sure you're in marked taxis. Like it's not the safest of areas in these big cities, like the Belize City area. But,
Yeah, and there's not much allure there anyway, so
right.
you're not doing yourself any disservice by going elsewhere in these 10 days that you'd have there. Something I do want to say about the hotels, I know I've talked about them a lot.
Mhm.
Sometimes people say, well, you know what, fine, I won't go with the, fancier hotels. I just want the simple stuff, like these 2 or 3-star hotels in Belize.
Hmm.
I know that's going to be hell on earth, basically.
Right.
Um, anybody, and me personally, I don't know how you do it, Lenny.
Mm.
Like I won't do it because I know we're going to get blamed for it.
Yeah.
It seems like it was the same grandmother from the 1960s who designed every single hotel in the entire country, except for these like few 5-star hotels that exist. They all look identical to each other. It's like the same bed lining from the
Mm.
60s. I don't think they've changed it. The same lime color walls. The furniture looks older than than when Columbus came. It's just is honestly, it's like that people are gonna not be happy. So that's like I personally wash my hands of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I
talk
understand.
people out of it. I don't think my clients don't listen to what I say. So if I tell them that is not a good idea, they'll listen.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't try to push people on better hotels everywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
if I just went 5-star hotel my whole life, I would not have visited 94 countries.
Right.
In Belize specifically, like it's just that's when you don't want to mess with it. You're going to open up the toilet and there's going to be like a chupacabra coming out.
Oh God.
So there's
Yeah.
going to be monkeys inside your shower. Like
Yeah.
it's just don't mess with that one.
I know
Um,
I can't remember what country it was, but I was reading about a resort I wanted. I thought it was like a 5-star resort that I was going to go to. I was very excited. And the reviews talked about how many rats were in the room and how when you sleep, you have to be careful of the rats. It's like, oh my God. So that's why you need somebody who understands the area and understands 5-star is not always 5-star.
yeah, in Belize specific, there's not really so much like of a rat problem. It's just like it's just really old looking. Other than
Mm.
these very few hotels that know they have almost a monopoly on the luxury market. Incidentally, what was your impression with the people in Belize?
I love everybody around the world. I don't think there's any place I've ever been where I thought, wow, those people are not nice. I've always had just amazingly friendly, fabulous people everywhere. Everywhere I've gone, whether they could speak my language or not. So yeah, Belize is really fun. I did the tour with. I think I went to the Split, and I was feeding frigates off the boat, which is crazy. There are these crazy birds. I can't remember what else I did, but it was such a fun day. And I only was there one day. It was a cruise for that. I think I've been there many times, but for the one time I can remember.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I get it. I understand why people just go to Belize on the cruise
yeah,
and wrap it up like that. But I mean, as we've been discussing now for the last 30 something minutes, there's a lot more to Belize just than
yeah,
going by boat to the Blue Hole. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tiny little country, but there's a lot packed there. I was very impressed by just how much there is to see in a small area. And these are like worthwhile attractions. We don't
Yeah.
just put them there to fill up the days. We put them there because they're worth seeing.
I think of it similarly to my Costa Rica customers. It's Costa Rica. I usually send people who are super adventurous and want, to be doing the whitewater rafting and jumping off of waterfalls and surfing. This is and going to the hot springs and the volcano. So Belize is a little different than that, but it's a very similar kind of customer, I think, that likes both. Plus, you got the
Yeah,
scuba divers.
yeah, they both have some adventure and some romance component to it. I would probably say Belize is slightly more on like the romantic side. Costa Rica's a little bit more on the adventure side, but they both have a good share of both.
But the beaches probably are better in Belize, I'd say,
Yes.
and the water activities. I would give Belize the water activities and the beach, and Costa Rica more of the land adventure.
Yep. Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's
but
exactly right.
they're similar, and they're. I mean, I would say Costa Rica is affordable, more affordable than Belize, but I don't know. What on your tours? What's your Belize cost?
The there's better tourism infrastructure in Costa Rica than there is in
Yeah.
Belize. So this can help us use shuttles, for example, these tourist shuttles to transport people from point A to point B, and it's nice. Belize is not that. We're using all private cars. You see, so of course that brings up the cost a little bit. So our 10-day tour to Belize with all the hotels included is per person 3,919, and that includes
That's
the five
reasonable.
five lunches, the breakfast, all the entry fees. You've got your tour guides, your private car, it includes the gas. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, for 10 days and everything that you're including, I think that's a great price.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming your Costa Rica one would be in the twos instead of the threes. Am I right?
I don't have a
2000s. Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
That's something I'm right. Well, it's let me see. That one's 11 days. That one's 11 days. That one is 3730.
Oh, it's still up there.
Yeah, that one's up there, but that one we pack every day we're doing. So a lot of times there's like two different activities. What some other companies do, and it's kind of hard to compare, but a lot of companies will basically just have like these half-day tours, like the Lost Canyon or something, and they'll just do one thing. They'll take you canyoneering or something like that, and then like 2 o'clock they just bring you back for the day. You're like, okay, we'll just relax. We don't, like, we're doing back to back. So you've done now the canyoneering, and then we're taking you on a sunset cruise, or so we really ensure that from like 8 or 9 in the morning until 5 o'clock at night, you're doing these thrill a minute activities, unless of course people say, what, we want to go a little bit slower. How about you give us 14 days in Costa Rica and you do these half-day tours, and then you spread it out. But yeah, we pack it, and that's why it ends up costing more, because nobody puts as many activities as we do.
Yeah, that is true. And if anything I've ever gotten a complaint about, it's because you work people too hard.
No, nobody has ever told me, Charlie, we're bored on your tour. I've never
That's
once heard that in
true.
my life. And in terms of saying, oh, we found a tour that shows us more places and more activity, that is one thing
That
that
doesn't
there's
happen.
nobody on the planet who can touch me for that on
I
that one.
totally agree. And I am with Charlie the Traveler, my supplier partner who has tours in 30 countries around the world. We both have YouTube channels for you to look at, tons of YouTubes. We have Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're all over the place. So please follow us, like, subscribe. Thank you so much, Charlie, for joining me, and thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. All right, see you next time. Please scan our QR code and let me help you book your next dream vacation.